Hello, my name is Warrant Officer Haffy Leal, and this video will be to show you how to iron your blue collared shirt. So the first step that I always take to iron my shirt is make sure that all of the buttons are undone and that your shirt is open. Next, I make sure that I undo the epaulette buttons, so these buttons here, and I undo the pocket buttons. So those are just the pockets here. The next step is I lay my shirt down at the end of my iron so that the top of the collar, or the bottom of the collar here, is flush with the top of the iron, and that the shirt is flush against the ironing board. So from here, I flatten it out, just like so. Now, the difference between the iron settings for the pants and the shirt is I turn my iron down quite a bit because I don't like to use the cloth, the linen cloth on the shirt, because sometimes the small wrinkles don't get out. So I still have my iron on full steam, it's just at a lower setting now. So from here, I usually just start ironing from the bottom of the shirt. You can spray it with a spray bottle if there are large wrinkles, but this one just came out of the dryer, so it's not too bad. Like with your pants, you can also iron your shirt as it comes out of the wash, and that way it stays wrinkle-free a little bit longer. So when I iron the back of the shirt, I tend to work from the bottom inside out to make sure that I'm pushing out any wrinkles that would be on the shirt. So once you've ironed the center panel of the back of your shirt, you can, what I do is I move it so that the sleeves, the corner of the sleeve here, is centered at the top of the ironing board. So you can see I have a crease in my the back of my shirt right here. So you want it to be about 6 inches approximately. That's where mine tends to fall. So from here, what I do is I start by ironing out this crease to make sure that it's nice and pleated, and I work my way from the inside outwards again. I'm pulling on the sleeve here to make sure that the fabric at the top of the ironing board is taut so that I don't create any wrinkles. Alright, so now I've ironed the center panel and the left panel of my shirt, and I'm going to move to the right panel on the back of the shirt. So I do the same thing. I arrange the shirt so that the corner of the sleeve is at the top of the ironing board, and I flatten out the crease here and make sure that there's no excess wrinkles in the fabric. Again, I start at the crease, pulling the sleeve taut so that the fabric around the crease is taut and doesn't create any wrinkles. So now that I've ironed the back of my shirt, I'm going to start ironing the front of it. So what you do here is you place this front section of your shirt so that the shoulder fits on the top, or the shoulder fabric fits on the top of the ironing board, and you pull out any wrinkles that you see. And from here I iron from myself away. So I iron away from myself to push out those wrinkles. So you can notice that I'm lifting up the top of the pocket. This is so that my entire pocket itself doesn't have any wrinkles in it. So you iron the pocket around the pocket and making sure that you're ironing the whole panel of the shirt. From here, I take my pocket flap and I lift it up and place it on the ironing board so that I can iron my pocket flat. So now this whole panel is nice and ironed and flat, including the pocket. We move to the other side of the front of the shirt. So you do the same thing. You make sure that the shoulder of the shirt is aligned at the top of the ironing board, and you pull out any wrinkles and flatten any wrinkles you might find. This side of the shirt can be a little bit more difficult because of the buttons here, so I just tend to go between the buttons with my iron. It's the easiest way to do it. So I'm lifting up this pocket flap to make sure I can iron my pocket. Now I'm going to iron the pocket flap. Now you check for any other wrinkles. So the front of my shirt is nice and flat, so I'm going to move on to ironing my collar and epaulets. So the reason I iron the collar and the epaulets before I iron the sleeve creases is so that I don't wreck my creases, because I want them to be nice and flat. So you iron your collar flat. This is so it doesn't pop up in any strange ways when you are wearing your collar. So I just iron it flat like that, and then I iron my epaulets so when you wear your rank slip-ons, they look nice and sharp because they're flat. Alright, so to iron your sleeve creases, what you want is the crease to be in the middle of the epaulette here. So what I do is I pinch the epaulette in half so that both my fingers are lined up, and I pull out that crease to the end of the sleeve. From here, I place it flat on the ironing board. And here I do spray the crease with water. So you notice that I'm holding the top of the epaulette here, or the bottom of the epaulette, the top of the sleeve, so that my crease that I want will always be there. It's kind of holding the sleeve in place on the ironing board, as well as holding the crease in place. So to iron the creases, I start at the top of the sleeve and work my way down, making sure that all the water that has been sprayed has evaporated. And I also iron the rest of the sleeve to make sure there aren't any excess or other creases. You can also apply steam here to make sure that your sleeve crease stays nice and long. So now that my sleeves are ironed, my shirt is finished being ironed, and that is how you iron your blue shirt. Thank you.